to see you. I can see some great, well, a lot of familiar names there. I hope you're all safe and well. This is great.
Numbers mount up.
No, yeah. I love that metaphorical. Well, it's not even metaphorical. The opening of the doors and everyone streams in.
They're flooding in, Rob. Flooding, not
They're flooding in, you know. I mean, you try and do something a little bit ridiculous, and people want to watch the carnage unfold in real time. It seems.
I got so excited I put aftershave on, forgetting I wasn't going out.
Yeah, no one can ever say we don't push the boat out here at the NCS.
We've got clothes on, so that's a result.
Yeah,
we can't see our box though, Adam.
Okay, shall I make a start, do you think, everybody?
You may as well, Rob. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Fantastic. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to the very first ever Whose Crime Is It Anyway? From the Northern Crime Syndicate. I'm Rob Parker. This is the session, well, it's more of a show, I think, really, where we're going to try to create a bestseller from absolutely nothing within the space of an hour. And we're going to need your help. So before we get going any further, just a couple of orders of business before we get going. One is that the crime world is mourning presently the passing of Sheila Quigley, who is an influential Northern crime writer who supported so many of us. As a collective, we'd like to recognise Sheila's achievements and extend our condolences to all those affected by her loss. So rest in peace, Sheila. Okay. I wondered whether my esteemed colleagues could introduce themselves one at a time, just briefly, for those who may not be familiar with the Northern Crime Syndicate. So while you're at the top next to me there on my screen, Trevor. Trevor, would you go first, please?
I'm Trevor Wood, the Newcastle-based writer of the debut crime novel, The Man on the Street.
Adam?
Hello, I'm Adam Peacock, also known as AM Peacock, the writer of the DCI Jack Lambert series, which is a police procedural series set in and around Newcastle.
Lovely. Judith?
Hi, I'm Judith O'Reilly. I've just published an action-adventure thriller called Curse of the Day.
Marvellous. And Rob Scragg.
Hi there, I'm Robert Scragg, obviously also based in the Northeast. I write a detective series about Jake Porter and Nick Stiles set in London.
Fantastic. And Chris McGeorge.
Hello, I'm Chris McGeorge. I live in Spennymoor in County Durham, and I'm the writer of Guess Who and Now You See Me, and also upcoming a book called Inside Out.
Fantastic. And just to round that off, I'm Rob Parker. I live in Warrington. I'm a crime writer who writes the Ben Bracken thrillers and a couple of other standalone bits and bobs. And I'm your circus master, your ringleader for this impending fiasco this evening. Yes, we're going to, and I include you there, the audience as well, we're going to concoct a bestseller in record time, and we're going to try and squeeze in a little bit of a Q&A at the end. So if you've got a question for any of the members of this group, or just putting it out there to the community, please put it in the Q&A box. Now, at the bottom down there, you've got, on your screens, you've got a couple of options there to interact. There's chat and Q&A. Q&A, please write your questions for the authors in there, should you have any, throughout the hour. The chat is going to be how you interact with us in the session. So I'll explain more about that as we get going. So now that you, now that you all know how to be involved, we don't have much time, so we're going to have to be quick fire here. We're going to dive in, high energy, we're going to get in there and get out of here. So I'm going to ask questions and you're going to answer with the first thing that comes to mind. We're going to start with the authors here to get the ball rolling. So, audience, don't write in the chat box just yet. You are going to come in very, very soon. I think every single story starts with character. Every single story that I can think of starts with, well, character. And I go to loads and loads of schools in and around everywhere, and lots of people tell me they don't know how to get a story off the ground. And it's because they're so preoccupied with story. Forget story, start character, story pops out of the character. So we're going to build a character as quick as we possibly can. Right, so I'd like a name, please. Judith, please can I have a first name? Any first name, whatever's on the top of your head.
Kit.
Hit.
Kit. K-I-T.
Kit. Oh, I love it. So Hit. Excellent, excellent. Chris McGeorge, how old is Kit?
27.
27.
Yeah.
Very nice. And Rob Scragg, where? Give me a place. Where is Kit? Any place on the planet?
Kit is in Brighton.
Very nice. Now I like this because all of a sudden there are, I can see there are 32 participants down there. There's 6 of us. That's nearly 40 different interpretations of 27-year-old Kit who lives in Brighton. I'd like Adam. What's his job? What's his role in life?
Kit is a paramedic.
Oh, cool! Extremely cool. And very prescient at these times. Brilliant. So characters are always about the big things and the little things, aren't they? It's about the stuff that define us, but also the stuff that we do when we think no one is looking. Trevor, what does Kit do when he thinks no one's looking?
He picks his nose a lot.
Not a nice habit for a paramedic to have, I would argue. Excellent stuff. And I think, let's go, Chris. But George, what is his deepest secret in life?
He doesn't know how to use a defibrillator.
Or say it, Chris.
A defib.
Yeah.
Say that.
So when there's a cardiac arrest, you do not want Kit
Yeah.
from Brighton on the scene. It's a total disaster, right? So it's pot luck really getting ill in Brighton at this point, isn't it? Really, if you're going to survive it. So I'm going to go up to the audience now. Let's just go in. Let's just dip our toes in now. First answer to this that I see in the chat box. Give me a hair colour for Kit. Red. I've got Donna Moore says red. So Kit is a redhead. Thank you as well, Louise. Kit's a redhead. And Rob Scragg, what style of hair has he got?
He's got an Elvis quiff.
A smart looking person. Excellent. Smart young fella. I love it. Adam, before that, what was their hairstyle of choice? When they decided, obviously, that the Elvis look was the way to go, what was their previous hairstyle?
Shaved. Because they were a little bit ashamed of the hair colour at the time because they were bullied when they were younger. I've gone a bit too far, I'm sorry.
No. This is anything you want to bring to the table. Yeah. That's fantastic. Excellent. So I see we're getting a bit of character there, a little bit of backstory. Judith, does he like a drink, does our Kit?
Yeah, way too much. He's got a problem.
Oh, wow. Marvellous. Trevor, what's his drink of choice?
Gin and tonic.
Oh, so I hope he's not on the job in the ambulance with the G&Ts up front. Rob, you're a man who likes a G&T, or I've known to see you with a G&T in the past. Is he a Gordon's and, slimline guy, or is there a particular fancy gin he might be into?
Yeah, he goes for rhubarb gin.
Oh,
Ooh.
He's a man of serious distinction.
All of a sudden,
Adam, how tall are they? How tall's Kit?
5'7".
5'7".
Yeah.
Judith, what is Kit's favourite smell?
Lily of the Valley that's worn by a doctor in the hospital.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Because my next question was, why is that? And so there's a hint of romance here. I quite like it. Chris, is Kit tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee. Black or with milk? Adam, black or with milk?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Black, yeah, excellent. Rob Scragg, eggs scrambled or fried?
Neither. He's allergic to eggs.
Oh, I love it. Trevor, what was their job before this?
He worked for a funeral director.
Interesting. And Judith, was it an amicable parting from the previous employment?
No, he defrauded the funeral director.
Wow. I'm sure one of my questions in here is, does he have a criminal background? Now we know.
We're ahead of the game, Rob. We're ahead of the game.
I know. I love working with you guys. I really do. So let's have a look at, you can always tell a lot about a person by what's in their pockets. So audience, what 3 things does Kit never leave home without? What's he always got in his pockets? The first 3 things I see are the 3 things that we'll say.
I shudder to think.
Whoa.
Wow! Grief. He's got some serious. What we've got testicles.
You get all that
in there.
You've got some serious testicles.
He's got testicles and a penknife and a lighter
And a condom.
Right, I think
testicles though.
a "Make America Great Again" cap from Thomas Pickett stuffed in his back pocket there. Absolutely fantastic. Right, the first three I saw. Well, we can't go testicles because they're usually outside of the pocket, aren't they? So we'll go with penknife, lighter, and condom. There we go. Marvelous. Judith, where were they born?
He was born in Africa.
Africa, excellent. Adam, what was it? Well, does he still keep in touch with his parents?
No.
No. Rob, what happened?
They were killed. They went diving in a shark cage.
I'm so sorry. Were there any other siblings surviving him, Chris?
Yes, he has a sister, but he has no idea where she is.
See, this is why you do this with crime writers, because you're already firing the stuff up there. This story's writing itself at this point. Trevor, have they ever been in love? Has Kit ever been in love?
I thought you meant Kit and his sister. That was just.
Oh no!
I did wonder where you were going there, Rob.
No.
Yes, he has.
He has. And Judith, was he scarred by this experience?
No, he dumped her.
I love it. Adam, is he a boxers or briefs guy?
Boxers.
Tight fit.
Size medium.
Might work all right with 5'7", possibly. I'm not sure.
Reasonably stocky.
Chris, what's his favourite style of music?
Punk rock.
Punk rock. And Rob, does he have a mode of transport?
He does. He drives a Vespa.
A Vespa, excellent. Trevor, what colour's the Vespa?
He's a paramedic who drives a Vespa.
I love it.
It's pink. He lives in Brighton. It's pink.
It's pink. Excellent. Is this, has this got his defib that he's scared of using on the back of it? Is he driving around Brighton? Fantastic. And the last one, I think, for this guy, let's go. Judith, what's his greatest fear?
That someone discovers that not only can he not use the defibrillator, but that he is not a trained paramedic at all.
Like it.
He is an imposter. I love it. Right, everyone out there, remember that. Right. Because I think we're going to need another character to come in here, and then we're going to conjoin the two and then work out how they know each other. So we're just going to do that again, but with different questions entirely. All right, apart from the first couple. But I would really like the audience to give us a name here. Could I have, if we've done a gentleman, let's do a female now. So could I have a female name, please?
Arabella's the first one that came.
Arabella, excellent. It's Arabella. Arabella is our... Oh, there's some good ones there as well. Doris and Walter. Big Brown, you need to have a word with yourself, mate. So, Arabella. Excellent. Arabella.
Can we call her Bella for short? Is that all right?
Bella, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, love it.
A bit Twilight, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Rob, what is her age?
She is 19.
19. Interesting. Trevor, what's her role in life? What's her job?
She's a dog trainer.
Excellent. Adam, what's her deepest secret?
That she once witnessed a murder but never said anything about it.
I want to go down that rabbit hole as well. Right, Chris, she got a little habit. What's her little habit that she does when nobody's looking?
She whistles Fiddle on the Roof all the time.
Compulsively.
Yeah.
It's a real problem, and especially with dogs as well. I mean, that's a nightmare.
Chris,
Proper
can you give
nightmare.
us an example of how that goes?
No, I can't whistle. So that's my deepest, darkest secret.
You see, you learned something about the hosts
Yeah.
as well here. Right, Rob, does Arabella gamble?
Like you wouldn't believe.
Adam? What's her sort of her vice gambling wise? Don't know what that was helping, but
What do you call the penny slot machines at the?
Oh, the 2p machines.
Yeah, she has an addiction to 2p machines and the fake horse racing thing that where they go across the.
Oh yeah. So she spends all day at the fair.
Yes.
Yeah, just slinging 2p's in that and quids in that. Fantastic.
Because the fair is inextricably linked to the murder that she witnessed years ago, and she can't get away from that. That scene in her mind.
She leaves all the dogs tied up outside that she's training.
What a brilliant image on the pier. All the dogs on the pier tied up. Fantastic. What is Chris? What's her favourite kind of takeaway?
Candy floss. That Chinese. I was thinking about the pier.
I've not seen it on Just Eat before, Chris.
Chris's Deliveroo driver thinks he's a
Yeah, it's this Chinese Indian peer-based confectionery. It's excellent. Fantastic, lovely. Judith, I don't know whether Arabella will have come across either Yorkshire pudding before, but Yorkshire pudding or roast potatoes for our Arabella.
Yeah, Yorkshire pudding all the way.
Excellent, good. Everyone out there, audience please, what is her earliest memory? That's an ambitious one to type, but I'm going for it. I trust you all. What is Arabella's earliest memory? Mac and Me! the film, the alien film. Going to the zoo, her father drowning. Good grief. Death of her mum. Throwing up after eating her mushrooms. Oh gosh, her dad and her mum. There's some amazing answers here, all of which go in different places. Trevor, could you pick one, please?
What was the one before Death of her mum? I liked that.
Her father drowning.
Father drowning, yeah, that was great.
Her earliest memory is her father drowning. Good gracious me. Heavy going stuff. Blimey, where do we go from there? Judith, what do we consider their greatest achievement? What does she consider, her greatest achievement?
That she looked after her dying nan through cancer, even though her nan was a real old battle-axe and hated her. Good
grief! What a great character she's becoming. Rob Scragg, what's her most treasured possession?
Her nan's false teeth.
Oh.
I'm gonna be having those.
She wears them on weekends. When she goes out just
to scare the dogs. Adam, what was the last lie Arabella told of any kind?
I love you.
Ooh.
That was telepathy, Adam.
Yeah, I am loving this now. I'm loving this now.
I was going to go with, don't worry, Nan, they're only paracetamol.
That's dark. That's too dark.
That is very, very dark. They're quite well. Do they have a pet? But they're surrounded by dogs, so we'll go right after that one. What do they have a nickname? Well, we know she's called Bella. I'm going to ask the audience. Audience, please. 3 things that are on her bedside table right now. Keep it clean.
Is that clean? Candle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Candle.
Candle, book, and a Kindle. Oh, a book and a Kindle. They're the 3. Oh, a photo of Kit.
Oh, photo of Kit.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, I love it.
Gotta go with the photo.
Got to go with that.
We got to go with the photo. So should we take the Candle, book and Kindle are very similar, aren't they? So we'll go with, there is a reading thing. So she likes a book, but a photo of Kit. I love that. Absolutely brilliant. Right. I think we need to get these 2 together now, don't we? really. And plus, the time's going on. That's 20 minutes done. Right, Chris, where did they first meet?
In the ambulance.
Kit. In the ambulance.
Yeah.
Kit and Arabella met in the ambulance. Yeah. Fantastic. Rob, what happened? As in, like, why were they in the ambulance?
Kit had just failed miserably trying to resuscitate. You see where I'm going? I tried to resuscitate a nan with a defib.
Oh, that's how they met. Excellent. So, Kit was called out. Oh, what? This was the potluck again. Kit was called out to go and see Arabella's nan, but Arabella's nan died because Kit didn't know how to use a defibrillator. Excellent. Well, in which case, Chris, what was Adam? Oh, sorry, Chris. Adam, because I was looking at you, Adam. Chris, what was Kit's first impressions of Arabella?
Whoa.
Oh, you're a wordsmith, Chris.
Judith, what was Arabella's first impressions of Kit?
This guy's incompetent and doesn't know what he's doing.
But I will go and get a photograph of him for my nightstand. That's obviously because we remember that.
Yeah, for evidence, because she's coming after him.
Yes. Oh!
It's got the eye scratched out as well.
Obsession.
Yeah.
There's obsession emerging here. Oof. So what was the first thing, Trevor, that they said to one another? Please don't say your nan's dead.
How do you use one of these?
I think
Do you use one of these?
I bow to Rob. I think he probably said sorry.
Sorry.
He has it's terrible with a defibrillator, but he's got a lovely bedside manner.
I'm already thinking of titles here.
Sorry, I didn't realise the paddles weren't meant to go on her legs.
So, what is Kit's goal throughout this story? What's he trying to achieve in this story? Or is it something? I'm feeling a bit more like we're following Arabella here. What is Arabella? Who's the main character here? Actually, I'm going to put that out to all of you. Who's the main character?
I think Arabella's more interesting.
Yeah, and I hear on the chat everyone's saying Bella.
It's Bella.
Bella's the main character, right? So what then, Adam? What is Bella trying to achieve in the story here?
To satisfy the dark urges she has to harm people.
Wow. And I assume that means she's starting with the guy who killed her nan for incompetence.
He doesn't know that, though.
He doesn't know that.
Not yet.
So, well, I think what we were going to try and do was to adopt this to a typical 3-act structure, because it's easy to follow. We've got to get a bestseller done in under an hour. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go beginning, middle, and end. Just dead simple, 3 acts. So beginning is going to set the scene and the inciting incident for what happens here. So I'm going to ask, let's talk beginning. Rob, where does the story open? Give me a place, anywhere.
It opens with Bella stood over her nan, crying down the phone to 999.
Trevor, what happens next?
Kit turns up.
And the rest is self-explanatory. So, who answers the door, Judith? Because I asked this because if it's Bella, he opens the door and says sorry to her immediately. Is that what he does when he attends? Because he knows he's rubbish. Sorry, it's me again.
She answers the door to him for him to come in with the kit, and she also lets him out while staring accusingly at him and vowing vengeance.
Wow. Okay. Excellent. The house. Okay. Well, no. What time of day is it, Chris? What time of day is it?
It's early evening.
Early evening, lovely,
Yeah.
lovely. Are we talking The Simpsons or Hollyoaks early evening?
What? I'm sorry, I didn't get that one.
Hollyoaks, right? We're talking
Yeah,
Hollyoaks.
yeah.
Excellent stuff. Excellent. Right, what's the weather like, Trevor? What's the weather doing?
It's raining.
It's raining. Oh, dear. It always is when the bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
Rob, where does she live? What kind of house is it?
It's actually an underground bunker, World War II bunker that she inherited from a nan.
So
alive?
well, when we said door before, it was really a hatch. Open the hatch to let them in. Excellent, excellent. I mean, there's so much we could go to there. But is it in good repair, Judith? Is it in good nick, or is it really showing signs of wear and tear?
No, there's like water coming down and there's rats scurrying. But
Oh.
her nan was a survivalist. So she did her best, but
you know, my next question is: there anything about this setting that looks out of place? But the answer is all of it. All of it's out of place. Excellent. So, who is present? Is it just the three?
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, all of us. Yeah. Right. It's just the three of us. Right. Okay. The chain of events are underway. That's our opening. It's this scene, isn't it, where it all gets going. So usually we would go into Act 2. That's how usually you would start. You know, you would if you're doing it chronologically, that's what you do. But I really don't like doing that because I always get lost with where I'm going. And I think for the purposes of this, it would be really, really good if we knew exactly where we were going. So let's discuss the ending. Okay. So let's go straight to the finale. Let's establish what happens. We can always change it later on. Rob, what kind of ending is it? Is it a happy ending, a sad ending?
The worst kind of ending. It's there's going to be blood, there's going to be tears, and it's not going to end well for Kit or Bella.
Well, I was going to say, Adam, do the characters achieve their goals? I mean, there's only one goal here for Bella, isn't there, really? Does she achieve it?
Bella does, yeah.
Excellent stuff. Is there a shocking ending? Is there a twist involved, Judith?
Yes, but I can't tell you or I'd have to kill you.
Okay, hold on to that. We'll come back to that. Right, we've got that now. Let's go back to Act 2. We've got the opening, right? We're going to do the middle. The middle is where the story takes off and goes on its merry journey to get to where we know it's ending up, which is that Bella kills Kit, which is just horrendous. All us crime writers, and we discussed this off air, we have like fail-safe cliches that we can always use. And for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to call it the Crime Writers Cliche Playbook. So I've got some fail-safe answers, get out of jail answers here. So that are going to propel the story onto the next thing. If in doubt, put one of these in. We know where we're going next. So, Adam, can I have a number 1 to 8, please?
7.
7. Right. This is immediately after the World War II bunker has been attended and the nan has been pronounced dead. Immediately after, they hear a car's tyres screeching. Chris McGeorge, who is it?
Oh, it's the police.
The police.
Yeah.
Trevor, why are the police here? I mean, there's a million reasons, you know.
Bella is wanted for shoplifting.
Oh dear. Rob, what did she steal?
It was actually, she had the best of intentions. She actually nicked 400 tins of pedigree chum for the dogs. And she tried to stuff them all in one jumper. That was the undoing.
So she was sort of like a jagged, obese tin man leaving leaving wherever she was coming from.
Absolutely spot on. It's almost like you were there.
Excellent. Right, the first copper on the scene. I think we need to make something of this guy because he's walking into a scene here. Well, first of all, Judith, can I have a name for this copper, please?
DCI Hardcastle.
Hardcastle, excellent. That's a really, again, we might be budging this person into prominent territory here with a quality name like that.
Quite high-powered for a shoplifting job.
It is, yeah. Quick, there's been some dog food stolen. Call DCI Hardcastle. Get him down there immediately.
He's
She
clearly
walks-
a
she walks
disgraced policeman.
She walks his dog, so he's got an interest.
Ah.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, Trevor, how did the crime get discovered?
The shoplifting.
Yeah.
Well, they saw her because she had a tiny jumper and 400 dog food. So the CCTV was pretty clear.
Fantastic, fantastic. So,
And
I assume
DCI
then-
Hardcastle saw the CCTV and thought, that's my dog walker.
and then straight there, he thought,
He's there
I'll go to the
cover
World
up.
War
He's
II
there to
bunker
cover up
where
the crime.
she resides.
It's a cover-up.
It's a cover-up.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Please elaborate, please.
Well, it's his dog walker, and he's kind of in love with her, and he doesn't want her to go down, so he's going over to warn her, so she can.
He's in love with her.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
That's
Excellent.
where she lied, because she told him
That's where
was
she
drunk,
lied.
But she's using him, so she's been sleeping with him even though he's married, and she's been using him the whole time.
Adam,
What a-
come on, let's riff on this. It's great.
What a time to profess your love as well over the body of a dead man.
I think Carl Hyacinth's going to sue us for this story, probably.
Well, this is just after the worst paramedic in the land has just been sent on his way for trying to defibrillate a nan's leg. So this is all going.
Well, hold on. Dan on the chat room says there's new evidence emerged regarding her father's drowning.
Oh my word! Is that?
That's probably better.
Yeah.
That is well. No, let's have them both. She's involved in the shoplifting, but there's, By the way, while I'm here on that one, I do have extra evidence on your father's drowning.
I'm thinking maybe the father drowned while trying to save a couple from a shark cage.
I thought it was Kit's parents who were drowned.
No,
Blood in the face, or
they died in a shark cage, Judith.
Yeah.
kids'
I mean,
parents-
it was still a terrible water-based death. I mean, no one's parents are coming off well here. They're all perishing left, right, and centre.
I'm just impressed that somebody remembered that her father drowned. That's really
yeah. No, we're going. This is great, right? We're going to need another one from the playbook here. Could I have a number 1 to 8, not 7, from the audience, please? 3, 2 threes there. A mobile phone rings. Whose is it? Adam, whose phone goes?
Kit.
Kit's. Chris, who is it?
sister, Chris.
It's
sister.
sister, yeah.
Her sister. Oh my word.
Yeah, his sister.
Judith, what has she rung up to tell Kit?
She wants him to come home to Africa because they've inherited a load of money.
Wow. Excellent.
Yeah, she said.
Excellent stuff. I love it. Now this is where I'm trying to keep on track of all the different strands, and at the end I'm going to try and weave this together to tell you this story. This is going to be really something else. As the story progressed, because this is what it's about, I imagine then, therefore, are we talking about the investigation into a dog food crime, or is this really about the investigation into Bella's father's death?
Yeah.
I think that's the compelling one here, isn't it, really? So if Kit has been dismissed, is it infatuation that's keeping Kit involved here?
Well, been dismissed from what?
Well, he's been sent off, hasn't he? He said sorry and left, I believe.
Yeah, but she wants to find out how come such an incompetent paramedic is wandering around Brighton killing old people.
Well, and let's not forget he's killed her nan, so she can't lose track of him entirely.
Well, that's true. That is very, very
But
true.
I think it's Arabella who has poisoned her nan or done something to bring that about. And she realises that she can use Kit to frame him for the murder because the net's closing in on her activities.
Excellent stuff.
However, when she complains, Kit's boss is in love with him, so she covers that up, so he keeps his job.
There's so much going on here. That's
Which
the middle
really,
of the
really,
story,
really
isn't
pisses her off.
Yeah.
it? Well, I can imagine. Is there another villain character in this story? Was it definitely Bella that did this?
I think Hardcastle's dodgy.
Hardcastle is dodgy. Let's go more into Hardcastle, okay? Because I think there's more to this guy. You can't have a name like that and not have more interesting things to say. Judith, what's Hardcastle? Does he have any superstitions?
Yeah, he does. He always starts a new case. He opens a new box of cigarettes when he starts a new case, and he won't finish the box until he's convicted the guilty person.
Can I just please, because that's so cool and such a noiry thing to do, can he have somewhere a box of cigarettes that's still not finished since like the 70s or something?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's one that he's
it.
never cracked. Well, the murder of Bella's dad.
Yeah, and every now and then he gets out the cigarette and looks at it and then puts it back in the
These scenes write themselves at this point. Rob, where does Hardcastle live?
He lives in a static caravan.
Oh, I love it. Trevor, where is this static caravan parked?
It's in Brighton as well, right by the seafront. Lovely view.
Excellent. I love this guy already.
Do you get that theme tune? Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Chris, what is their top goal? If Hardcastle had a bucket list, what would be the top thing on it? I want to know more about this man and his aspirations.
I mean, he's already a DCI, isn't he?
He is, yeah, he is.
He would like to be a London policeman, like a chief of police or something in London. But he's stuck in Brighton in his caravan.
After
That's a disposable income.
Yeah. Adam, is his intentions towards Arabella, are they genuine?
No, but it appears so, but not
Right.
really.
Judith, what's his ulterior motive?
He regards her as like an adopted daughter. Like he's very he wants to be a father, but his ex-wife didn't want kids, so Arabella's become a bit of a sort of, sorry, she's a soft spot. She's got a soft spot for her.
It's a bit awkward because isn't he sleeping with her?
Yeah, I thought that was happening.
We've already said he's in love with her.
He's very he's very damaged and very.
I think
Telling me.
everyone in this story, apart from Blissful Kit, who's just going around killing people with his bad.
Hold on, we've got a plot hole. We've got a plot hole.
I
Oh,
like
have
this.
we?
Oh, I like.
Thank you, Alex. How can her dad die in the 70s, but she's only 19? This is why
we
we
didn't say
only
the dad
invite
died
the
in the
best on
70s.
here, isn't it, Alex? Thank you very much.
I thought we said the unsolved case was from the 70s, but we didn't say when the dad died.
No,
but
and we
I
didn't
think-
actually specify what year this was taking place in.
I think Rob equated the two things at one point.
I did, yeah. My mind got ahead of me there. It was my fault.
Maybe there's a link.
I know, I did, yeah.
I
And
like
we-
Rob. Angie said something that he's her dad's best mate, which is pretty
I love that.
Yeah, love it.
That's very cool.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, and I mean, so are we going with the dad's best mate, Hardcastle, still, like a father relationship, or is it more that he's got much more sinister?
No,
Was
both.
her dad a cop as well?
Both. He's very.
See,
conflicted.
I think her intentions to him are sinister, and she's wore him down, and so they're embodying this like kind of relationship. I think it appears like he has the best of intentions for her, and it's not necessarily that the bad intentions are for her, but he does have an ulterior motive.
Can I ask? We haven't said how old he is, and she's only 19, so I'm slightly disturbed by this guy.
I think he's early,
Yeah.
early 40s.
Yeah,
So has he been seduced by her or not?
yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think we're going into psychological thriller territory here.
I was going to say therapy.
Yes, immediate therapy for us all at the end of this video call. Yeah, I love these ideas coming in here. We've got Angie Plant says both he feels guilty and fancies her. He's in his 40s, so he's a very complicated guy. Again, we've got like poor old Kit, who we built
Yeah.
at the beginning. He's way secondary to this really interesting relationship between the DCI and the dog walker, which could be the title. Don't say that. That was a question for later.
Oh, what
I'm
about
thinking that
another
it's-
one, Rob? Christy says that despite that relationship with her dad's best mate, neither of them are aware of that relationship.
Ah, cool.
But they need to become aware in the start of Act 3, probably.
Yeah.
I think.
All right. This is a question for the audience because they're coming up with some great stuff at the moment.
They're doing better than us, frankly.
Yeah. Bella obviously has a fixation on revenge against Kit, but has she ever harmed another human being before?
Yes.
Audience, what do you say?
Can't wait for this.
I know, yeah. What do you say?
Oh, they can't make
There's some
them.
typing. There's some typing going on. Didn't she
They've
kill
all
someone
gone,
early?
Rob. They've all gone home.
They've all, yeah. Oh, Dan says Kit's her half brother. She blames
Yeah,
Kit for
That
this.
would be good.
Dogs with dogs. You can never kill dogs in
No, you can't. I'm so
Cardinals
sorry,
don't hurt
Christy. You can't
Golden
kill dogs
rule.
because you lose readers if you do that. Kit's boyfriend, Robin. Ah, who's this?
It's. I think Leslie's been saying Robin's the one with the perfume. The
Oh,
hospital.
oh, you're joking. So there is another. So Robin is.
I love. She secretly hates dogs and locks them in the shed instead of.
I mean, she's a rum person. So what I've got from that is she's not actually killed anyone before. She's going to be her first kill, because I was wondering whether Hardcastle had been on her tail for a while, and he had suspicions, and that was convoluting the plot even more. That there was someone killing bad defibrillator users in the Brighton area.
I'm not sure that we didn't say right at the start that her darkest secret was that she'd killed someone in the
She
past.
witnessed the murder.
Oh,
She
no,
witnessed the murder,
Yeah, she witnessed the murder.
and did that give her the taste for blood, possibly?
Maybe she witnessed
Maybe she
That's a
herself.
good title.
She
Maybe,
witnessed her
maybe,
father's drowning, Judith. Yeah?
maybe she witnessed herself killing someone, but she witnessed it in the Hall of Mirrors. So she slightly disassociated herself from it. She thought it was a really guy. But
she has
actually, it was herself.
She has a bucket load of serious issues then, in which case, fantastic. Okay, so we need to tie this up. We know that Bella gets what she wants. We know she kills Kit. Where does that take place, Trevor?
Brighton Pier. Is that
Brighton
still
Pier.
around? Is that
Yeah.
going down?
I was doing that.
I love it, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's a great idea. Who is present at the finale, Chris?
All the principal characters,
Very good.
including Robin.
Including Robin.
And all of the dogs that she walks as well.
Yeah.
They're all on this pier at the end.
Stephen on here is saying there's a ghost train on the pier. That sounds
Oh,
brilliant.
that's cool.
Ooh,
That's
that'd
cool.
be
In fact, Jill says that as well. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, Stephen says that. That's a good idea. So the finale moves from the pier into the ghost train, perhaps. Dogs chasing Kit through the dark night before being, Well, I don't know. We assume he's going to get killed. In fact, Judith, how does he get killed?
Yeah, the dogs tear him apart. She's trained them over the years.
She's trained them over the years in that shed that she's not let them out of for so long.
And
She used to-
she feeds his corpse to them. So she does.
Good grief.
She returns the 400 cans of pedigree chum. So her record is wiped clean. Hardman realizes what she's done, but he's so enmeshed with her now, it's too late, really. So
God.
he accepts the fact that she's killed Kit, but he's okay with it because he knows Kit was a psychopath pretending to be a paramedic.
I think you actually managed to tie this together
Is
better
there
than
some
we
way,
expected.
some way she can get her hands onto Kit's inheritance from Africa that we haven't dealt with yet?
Oh yeah.
Can we not
Yeah.
marry him first or something?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, she blackmails him. Maybe she blackmails him so that he gives her the money.
Excellent.
Okay, that's not
In
bad.
true Rob, in true crime, cool crime book fashion, the Bella's going to give Kit one last payoff line. You know, like in an 80s action film, like "chill out" or
Oh, like Jean-Claude Van Damme style.
yeah. What does she say to Kit immediately before setting the dogs, the dogs on him on a ghost train?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Something about man's best friend. It's got
Tell Nana said hello.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
I was
Well
going to
done,
go.
Adam.
I was going to go with "We could have had a beautiful future, Kit, but it's all gone to the dogs."
Oh, you see. Can we join them together? Let's join them together. That's brilliant.
P.S. My nan says hello.
Yes.
Judith, in the epilogue, okay, what happens to Bella?
We see her dressed in a nurse's uniform going into a hospital because she's decided to take a leaf out of Kit's book and she's now pretending to be a nurse.
Oh, my word. It goes full circle. With that, I
What
think...
about Hardcastle? Where's Hardcastle?
Oh, yeah, well, Trevor, where does Hardcastle fit in? What happens to him? Does he get his move to London?
No, absolutely not. I think he burns down his caravan with him in it.
Who does that? Adam, who burned down the caravan?
Arabella, and she leaves her grand's false teeth at the scene.
And then Arabella could smoke his last cigarette.
Oh, say no more. It is done. It is done.
Game over.
Excellent, excellent. Well, in which case, we're going to need a title here. I'm not going to ask any of you, any of my colleagues here for the title.
Nicholas
I would
already
like to ask
done
the
it.
audience, what are you going to call this?
It's on there, Rob. The dog's bollocks. It says on here.
Is that? I can't. We're talking about something that you would see in
Tesco.
Tesco. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what are we calling this? What are we calling this? I'm putting it out to the audience. Gone to the Dogs is very good. The Final Smoke is also very good.
No,
Nan's
Nan.
Revenge.
I think it's Nan's Revenge sounds like a bad 70s aftershow.
Brighton Rocks.
Brighton Rocks, yeah.
Oh, that's good. I like Brighton Rocks.
Yeah, Guilty Secret, another good one. I'm gonna let my colleagues pick the title for this one, and then I'm gonna run through it.
I'd say
I like
Brighton
Brighton
Rock.
Rocks. I like Brighton Rocks.
Yeah.
Death comes through the teeth. I like it. Are you guys saying Brighton Rocks?
I think Brighton Rock.
I like
So,
Brighton
I
Right.
think so.
Right. Let me do this. Brighton Rocks is a psychological crime thriller about a young lady called Arabella, who is a dog walker. She help me out here in a minute if I call you in. She has a very happy life, or so she seems, by walking dogs of prominent figures in the local area, one of whom is DCI Hardcastle, who is an ambitious cop who has a role in Arabella's history, although neither of them know this. I think that's right. Is that right? Yeah. He lives in a caravan on Brighton Pier, and he's on the trail of one case that he could never solve. Kit, on the other hand, is a rather worrisome young man who is travelling around Brighton on a Vespa, and he pretends to be a paramedic. And somehow 999 managed to patch a call through to him. We never really covered that, actually, how we knew.
He is a
And he was just,
paramedic. He is a paramedic.
I thought he was so he is actually on the payroll, but he's... I see. So he gets dispatched to a World War II bunker where an old lady is passing away. Yes.
Thanks for that, Robert. Excellent.
Yeah, an old lady is passing away, sadly, and his defibrillator skills are called upon, but then we remember he has none. So sadly, the lady passes away. But this is Arabella's grandmother, and she is not best pleased, and this kicks off an obsession which will lead to murder, I should say. On the scene comes DCI Hardcastle, given a tip-off that some dog food by a large quantity has been stolen. And he wants to let Arabella know, his dog walker, in fact, that it's not, they're onto you. You might have to give this up. By the way, he says, I've got some evidence about your father's death that we might have to go over at some point. He has very confused feelings for her, because little do we all know that he is actually a friend of Arabella's deceased father. And he can't work out whether he wants to be a father or a lover to Arabella. It's very complicated. But Arabella herself is fixated on revenge, which she exacts upon Kit by cornering him at Brighton Pier, then setting her dog on him on a ghost train, while telling him to, what was he again? What did he tell him to do again? What was the payoff line?
We could have had a beautiful future, Kid, but it's all gone to the dogs.
Thank you. And then there was another one immediately after that.
Tell me Nana said hello.
Tell my Nana said hello.
And you wouldn't say it in a Geordie voice, would you, in a book, I suppose? Like.
And Kit is torn limb from limb under the shadowed arches and garish neons of the Brighton ghost train. Arabella ends the book. Well, we've got series potential here, I feel, because she goes into the hospital to start another crusade of killing.
Don't forget, she torches Hardcastle's caravan as well before.
Oh yes, of course. I'm assuming at that point she must find out Hardcastle's conflicted intentions and torches her caravan.
He sees her setting the dogs on, Kit.
Hardcastle witnesses. You see, we're always thinking. Hardcastle witnesses Arabella killing Kit. Kit needs to clean up the evidence, so she torches DCI Hardcastle alive in his caravan. And that is Brighton Rocks. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for everyone in the audience as well. Thank you for being such good sports, both my colleagues and yourself.
Rob, I love that the only thing that survived the blaze was the one cigarette that was left.
Yes. And she goes in with one cigarette left. I absolutely love that. It was loads and loads of fun. We've just got a couple of quick questions, actually, if that's all right, before we all kick off. So first question I've got came through on email, which is, this one is from Glyn Baxter. And he asks the collective, forgive the unoriginality, but what would be the singularly most important quality required to write successfully? He adds underneath, I imagine two things may be relevant. The first being that there are a myriad of qualities required. And secondly, an ever-flowing supply of Guinness in the case of Mr. Parker.
I think the willingness to fail over and over again. And to be okay with that.
I was going to say the willingness to accept criticism as well.
Yeah.
To be open.
Perseverance, big time.
Yeah. I think that's all very sound advice there, I think. And that's something that we're all on the same, it's a terrible pun, but we're all on the same page with. Open yourself up to criticism. And yeah, be brave as well, isn't it? So yeah, fantastic. And we've got another question here from Leslie Turrell. Could you, and I'll put this out there, could you get away with committing a murder?
No.
Chris, you're shaking your head.
No.
No.
My conscience is too bad.
Yeah.
Not too good, I guess.
I
just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. No.
Was it Andy McNabb, the actual bloke, the author, who said that committing a murder is easy, but getting away with it's really hard? So I think I just know I'd be useless. I probably wouldn't even get the murder bit right. So no, definitely not.
No, I can't lie. So that's me out.
I think with some of the stuff in our collective Google search histories, I dare say we could have a fairly good crack at it, though.
Yeah, most likely.
Oh, I should have answered. The answer was I already have. I missed that.
Fantastic. Thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. To the audience, an event like that is nothing without you. So thank you so much for being involved. It was loads and loads of fun. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to my colleagues who let me take your careers in my hands tonight. I think we did all right. I think we came out of that okay. Yes, tell your friends, everyone, please, and we'll be doing some online stuff again very soon. Remember the hashtag NCS1 our bestseller as well, and take care, stay safe, and see you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.